Hey everybody, what's going on? It's James here with Crypto Common Sense, and I've got your Bitcoin/cryptocurrency update for November the 20th. Now, it's actually November 19th right now, just after 9 p.m. Central Time. But we've already had our daily close, and I wanted to go ahead and get this video knocked out early. Before I jump into the content, please do me a huge favor. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So first things first, what's going on with Bitcoin? What are my feelings on the short term? Well, guys, I'm still long, right? I entered into a swing long position 2 days ago, still sitting in that swing long right where I entered at, right? It's like $4 from where I entered that trade. So haven't had a lot of excitement on that, just kind of been pretty boring, but it's given me a lot of chance to work on other things that I needed to catch up on, which was great, right? Got some stuff done around the house, got out of the house a little bit, and just really haven't been staring at charts as much as I normally do. And when I take a look at this thing, I'm still pretty bullish on the short term, right? There's plenty of reasons to be nervous about this, but I have to say that I'm still holding out a lot of faith in this yellow line of support in my 3-day RSI. It had fallen underneath it a little bit. I mentioned this yesterday that it would probably, have some type of tail and then come right back above that line. So far, that's exactly what it's trying to do. You can see that it's still just a smidge underneath it, but it has started to put in this tail, and I do suspect that this thing is going to bounce, and I suspect it's going to bounce a lot harder than a lot of people are talking about. I'm seeing people talk about 8,200, 8,300. I've seen people today talk about they're going to short it at 8,350. That's totally possible. That might be what happens. It might be the strength of this bounce. I don't think so. One of the things that gets people in trouble is they'll miss a short opportunity and then they'll try to go short on the first bounce. This is actually what got me in trouble on this huge green candle, because the first short position that I opened was actually right here at this level of resistance at 79.50, right? And then I opened another one up here at this level of resistance, and then I opened another one up here at this level of resistance and stopped out, right? Even tried to get one up around 9,500 and got stopped out on the wick, okay? So I do think that if people start going short there, chances are they're just going to get stopped out, right? I think this thing will probably bounce up to around 8,700 if I had to guess. I do not think it's going to come all the way back up to 9,500, but it could, right? It wouldn't be absurd if you look at where that level is. It's right at the top of these 3-day closes, and it also happens to be this neckline of this giant descending triangle over here, right? So that would be very painful for a lot of people. That would certainly get people bullish, right? So it would be a perfect bull trap, and it would certainly stop out a lot of shorts. So I wouldn't completely rule that out. I would definitely say that this is in the realm of possibilities, okay? Now, me personally, I don't think it's going to get there. I'm going to be looking to take some type of profits on this trade, depending on what's going on. I should be very clear. If something changes drastically, obviously my opinion can change. But for right now, I'm thinking probably somewhere in this ballpark here. Right around 8,700 bucks is what I'm going to be looking for. Okay? So when we get to 8,700, what I'll be looking for if we get to 8,700 is to close my long. At that point, I'll evaluate what the charts look like. It doesn't necessarily mean I will for sure go short, but if things look good, then I'll probably flip from long to short, okay? If not, I may just flip from long to no position at all. That's what I'm seeing on the 3-day chart. I like what I'm seeing. It makes me bullish on the smaller picture, okay? Now, if I take a look at the 4-hour chart, so I found this very, very interesting, okay? This right here, I know there's crazy amounts of lines. I'm going to explain what they are. Let me get rid of all this stuff. Okay, so when I look at this price action here and this price action here, it looks similar. Not enough that I would really think much of it until I started looking at RSI. This bottom line here, I'm going to make it green. Look at this. RSI came down to this green line back here in late October. It came down to this green line on this drop here. It then bounced up to this yellow line, which we're going to change to red. And then had a little dip off of it, just like it did here. And it then bounced up to this line, which we'll change to purple, right? Cut through it and came down and bounced off of it. So we've cut through it here. We're trying to come back down. Don't know whether we will or not. And then after it bounced off this purple line over here is when we had this moonshot, this $3,000 moonshot. So again, I don't suspect that we're going to get another $3,000 moonshot. Don't get me wrong here. But I really like this from a bullish standpoint, right? I do like this. It's a 4-hour chart. If we can come down and touch this purple line again and put in a structure like this, maybe that is what sends us up to around 8,700 bucks. And again, 8,700 bucks. Why 8,700? Let me get rid of the RSI real quick. If I draw my Fibonacci levels here from this wick to this tail, that's going to give me targeted around 83, 86. And if I draw it from over here, it's going to give me a target of 84.70. And if I draw it from back here, it's going to give me a target of 8,700. So which one do I want to use? Well, here's how I draw my fibs, guys. I like to draw them from top to bottom until I get a 61.8 retracement, and then I move over the top, right? So if this had come up to here, then I would disregard this top, but it didn't. So I'll move it down a level. Still didn't get there. I'll move it down a level. Still didn't get there. I'll move it down a level. Still haven't got to the 61.8. So I'll move it down a level, down a level, down a level, right? So I just keep moving it until my 61.8 is tagged. Right now my 61.8 is right around 87.03, and you might notice this orange line cutting through it. That orange line is the 200 moving average, which is historically a good level of support / resistance. So I've got some convergence there, okay? That's why I like 8,700 as my take profits target. Now that being said, all of these red lines between here and there are levels of resistance, and it may not get there. It just might not, okay? I may have to close that position early. Fine, so be it, right? We'll just have to play it by ear. But that's why 8,700, okay? I don't think that it's going to have a strong reaction above this level. It could put in some type of wick, right, to really kind of throw people off, but I do not think it's going to get above that level and have any kind of significant close above it. If I zoom out to a daily chart and I draw my raise here, we look at where this raise at, right around 8,900 bucks. Okay, so maybe we get a wick up to that area, for example. If I draw it like this, you know, we're already above it, so it's not relevant at all. If I draw it like this, it's going to be right around 82.50. So maybe that is resistance. It certainly was support all through here, right? So I will have to keep an eye on that particular trend line. That might be in play, right? 8,300 bucks. And again, if it starts to look super weak there, I don't have a big problem jumping out of my long, right? It's not like I'm going to take a huge loss on it. I'm going to take a small win, right? Make back the money I lost on the one I got stopped out of, basically break even. Okay. I am fighting the trend. We're in a downtrend, so I'm not going to be super clingy with a long position. If I see a bunch of weakness, I will jump out of it. Okay. So a couple trend lines there that I'll be keeping an eye on. Obviously, the 200 moving average on the 4 I'll keep an eye on, and of course that $8,700 Fibonacci level is important to me as well. One other thing I wanted to mention, I nearly forgot this. Let me go back to the 4 hour. These similarities are pretty startling, right? If we take a date range, we draw it from this drop to this top in RSI right here before it turned back down, took it 7 bars. Okay, so from the drop over to the where a little peak was there, 7 bars. If we draw from this drop over to where this little peak is, 7 bars, exactly the same. Okay, so if we draw from the drop over to where it first launched out of that oversold territory and broke back into the above the 30 line, that was about 10 bars. So if we draw this over 10 bars, that would give us a target somewhere around 2 a.m. So in about 5 hours from the time I'm doing this video, right, would be the time that I would expect this thing to start its run up if it's going to play out like this. Okay, so again, a lot of similarities there. If we take a look over the alts, I haven't looked at them all day, to be honest. So I will look at them real quickly right now, and we'll see what we see. I don't know, it looks pretty good, right? Looks like it could have some kind of bounce. This is a daily chart. So if we draw a trend line on it, here you go, right? Looks like it's trying to get into a bit of an uptrend there. I wouldn't expect these to do a whole lot, okay? But again, you do have that daily moving average, or the 200 moving average. It's up around 85 bucks. I think that's pretty far-fetched. Anything's possible, I guess. More likely, I'd be looking for some type of bounce up to like this level, right? The 200 moving average would be up around 58 bucks. So that might be a possibility there. There's not really a strong trend on the 4-hour as far as RSI goes. In fact, if I was looking at the 4-hour, I'd be more interested in this downward sloping trend, something like this. So if it comes up and hits this, probably going to be about the same time it hits this, right? So it might be an opportunity to go short there. It's not a lot to go on, right? It's important to always look at what's happening at that moment. If I look at like EOS, which is another major, EOS has not yet made it back to this yellow line. But again, when you look at it, look at this yellow line lining up perfectly with the 200 moving average on the 4-hour. So again, it would make sense to me for that to pump back up to that 325 area. If so, that's about a 4 to 5% pump. And again, you know, if Bitcoin pumps, it would be normal for these to pump with it. If Bitcoin doesn't pump, I can't see many scenarios where the altcoins are going to pump and Bitcoin dumps, right? I don't think that's going to happen. If we take a look at what's another big one, Ethereum. Ethereum, same deal, right? 200 moving average in the 4-hour, it's right underneath it. It's up around 180 bucks. Price around 175, so I can see it pumping up to that. I think most of these have a good chance of pumping up to the 200, okay? And then if we take a look at the total market cap for alts, same deal, right? Our 200 moving average on the 4-hour is right around $70 billion. And of course, that lines up almost perfectly with this yellow line of support, flipped resistance. So again, if those pump up to the 200 moving average, this is probably going to pump up to the 200 moving average as well. So guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up there. Obviously, not a lot has changed. It's only been about 12 hours since the last video. But just more confirmation in my mind that Bitcoin is trying to put in some type of bounce. How high that bounce goes, it remains to be seen. But me personally, like I said, I'm shooting for that $8,700 area. And that's where I'd like to close my long at if nothing changes between now and then. And possibly look to go short. But the one thing that I can't stress enough is just remember that Bitcoin likes to punish late shorts. So it could be that it's going to punish people who are trying to short here by pumping this thing up. And of course, then people get overzealous. They'll often try to short the first level of resistance. And Bitcoin likes to just demolish right through those things. So it is entirely possible that this goes higher than 8,500, higher than 8,700, and it really does just run right back up to the neckline and really, really wreck some people, okay? It's not unheard of for that to happen, and also you have to keep in mind that the 200 daily moving average on Bitcoin is actually sitting up close to $9,400 still. So it's absolutely possible that this thing will run all the way back up to this area, maybe even 9250, and then come back down, okay? Markets very seldom do what we want. What do I want it to do? I want it to just turn around and go right down. Probably not what's going to happen, okay? With all that being said, remember, I am literally some guy sitting in a spare bedroom, so nothing in this video is financial advice. Nothing in this video is trade advice. You should always do your own due diligence and seek out professional investment advice before making any type of investment in cryptocurrency. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And somebody reminded me today that it really does help with the YouTube algorithm if you leave a comment. So please leave a comment, even if it's just to say, hey, James, I watched the video. All right? If you haven't already, you can check the description for links where you can follow me on TradingView, Twitter, and join my free Facebook group. This is James with Crypto Common Sense. Trade safe.